Hello and welcome back to the TV Show Club, the club where we talk about TV shows that we've been recently watching, viewing and enjoying. Let me know what you've been recently watching and enjoying, and if you've seen what I'm about to talk about, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Arcane Season 1 is... How do you even explain Arcane? Like, oh my... It's incredible in everything that it does. The animation, the music, the voice acting, the story that it tells is fantastic. And at first, while I always wanted Season 2 because of the cliffhanger that Season 1 ends us on, I was always worried and skeptical as to where the story would go. You know, after telling such an incredible story, where do you go from there? And Season 2 takes it bigger and bolder. And while I love it, and before I get into not my issues, but I just have a few gripes, and I feel almost, I put off making this video because I was scared, because I feel like the Arcane people, the fan base, are so diehard for it that any criticism might be taken wrongly. So I do want to get it out of the way. Season 2 was incredible. Like, the animation just got better, the action scenes, how every episode starts with essentially a music video. It's just so good. Like, honestly, animation-wise, you're not going to get much better than this. Storyline-wise, you're not going to get much better than this. The characters, you're not going to get much better than this. My problem with, I feel like Arcane should have been, at bare minimum, 3 seasons. Potentially even 4 seasons. I feel like in how Season 2 wanted to go grander and bigger on its story and scale, with that you sort of lost the character moments, in my opinion. You lost those slow, intimate moments where you connected with the characters that you've come to know and love. And I hate to say it, and it's not that it needed more filler, it just needed to slow down a bit. Because as an audience member, I was just a little bit, not confused, but I was like spending half of my time trying to figure out and remember what things belong to what, and what, like, who's who, and who hates who, and who's fighting what. And it just, if it was slowed down a little bit, it would have just like eased that pressure a little bit as on the viewer, and allowed me to just like watch and enjoy it without having to try and remember and figure out. And it might be different if you are a fan of League of Legends or something, for example, and you already know all of it, and so you're just watching it come to life. I'd get that, but for someone like me who's completely out of it, it just felt a little bit rushed as a season. And I do think if it had just slowed down a little bit, because like from what, I mean, I need to rewatch Season 1, but from what I remember, like the first 3 episodes are just like pre the sort of little time skip, are relatively slow. And I know they're introducing the characters, but I miss that. I miss the intimate character moments. I miss like just little bits, and it doesn't always have to be moving to this massive war that Season 2 eventually gets to. And don't get me wrong, I loved it, but it just felt a little bit rushed to me. Outside of that, and outside of my complaints, like I say, it's still one of the greatest shows that I've seen, full stop. From like the animation of the fight scenes, this show really knows how to get creative with it. It's like the first episode starting with the funeral, and like the use of color palettes and different animation styles, and it's so, there's nowhere else doing that, like just like how this is doing it. It's so brilliant to see something so creative and so interesting to watch. Like, you start an episode and you don't know what you're going to get in terms of the style and the music choices, and the songs that they pick are just so perfect. Like, they become instant classics in your mind. The Line by 21 Pilots, just Heavy as the Crown by Linkin Park, like just songs like that are so good. I can't remember what the song's called, but the song that's played at the funeral on episode 1 of Season 2 is stunning. I love that song. Like, it's so good. And just these little things and these culminations come together to create such a brilliant show. And like I say, while it got a little bit too grand and big scale for me and too fast for me to keep up, maybe that's a me issue. And so outside of that, you can't complain. And I'm very excited to see where they go with this League of Legends world. I'm excited to see what more shows they do, what characters they delve into, what worlds we dive into. I don't know a lot about League of Legends. The power system is very confusing and very hard to learn. The multiple power systems. Like, it got to a point where I was like, who's doing what? I don't know. Where's this coming from? And so maybe it's just me not being able to fully comprehend it, but for me, it just felt like if we slowed it down, this would have been perfect. But anyway, let me know, what do you think of Arcane if you've seen season 2, and I will see you next time on the TV Show Club.